Good morning, students. Today we are going to discuss about that module number 1, basic concepts. Here we are going to discuss about the concepts like introduction, like active elements and passive elements. So to discuss about that active elements and passive elements, electrical circuit analysis covers about that basic information regarding to that electrical engineering. Here we are going to discuss about that active elements and passive elements, unilateral elements and bilateral elements. As we know that according to the title of electric circuit analysis, definitely a circuit consists of active elements and passive elements, and definitely it required one closed path to flow the current through it. Here every circuit and network comprises with active elements and passive elements, but circuit definitely required one closed path, but network may be a closed path, may not be a closed path. For example, if you see that active elements are those elements which are capable to deliver the energy. Active elements are those elements which are capable to deliver the energy. Those elements are called as active elements. The best example for better understand about the concept of active elements, that is voltage sources, current sources, battery, generator are the best examples for active elements because they are able to deliver the energy. They gives that energy. So those elements are called as active elements. In similar to active elements, so the voltage sources, okay, in number of circuits we use that voltage sources, DC voltage sources and DC current source. So these are the few examples for better understand about the concept of active elements, because these are the sources which are able to deliver the energy in the form of current into the circuit is called as active elements, where energy is transferred from active elements to passive elements in the form of current. Therefore, which elements are called as passive elements here? Passive elements are those elements which are capable to receive the energy, which takes the energy. Those elements are called as passive elements. The best example for passive elements are resistors, inductors and capacitors are the best example for passive elements, because resistor, when we give that electrical energy or when current is flowing through the resistor, it dissipates the energy in the form of heat across it. So when current flowing through the resistor, it dissipates that electrical energy in the form of heat by the resistor. According to Ohm's law, as we know that R is equal to V by I, and the units of resistance is ohms, and the resistivity of the given material, the resistance for the given material, that should be depends upon the type of the material. And similar to resistor, another passive element is called capacitor. Capacitor is also called as a passive element because when current is flowing through the capacitor, it stores energy in the form of electrostatic field. And from capacitor we know that C is equal Q by V, and the units of capacitance is farads, and capacitance is denoted with the letter C. Therefore we can also define that capacitance is defined as the amount of charged energy per unit voltage is called as capacitance. Therefore, the another passive element is inductor. How inductor has been made means a piece of wire is twisted in the form of a coil. A piece of wire which is twisted in the form of a coil is called a inductor. Inductor denotes with the letter capital L. When current is given to the inductor or a coil or a inductor L which is energized, then current flowing through the inductor. An inductor does not allow sudden changes of currents, and the energy stored across the inductor may be in the form of electromagnetic field, and the units of inductance is henries. Therefore, the three passive elements like resistor, inductor and capacitor which may takes energy or which consumes electrical energy, and resistor dissipates that electrical energy in the form of heat, and the units of resistance is ohms, and inductor stores energy in the form of electromagnetic field which, and the units of inductance is henries, and a capacitance is existed when two conducting plates has been separated with a dielectric medium, and the capacitance is denoted with letter capital C, and the units of capacitance is farads, and capacitor does not allow sudden changes of voltages which stores energy in the form of electrostatic field. So these are the three passive elements and how it behaves when current flowing through it. The next element is called as bilateral element. Bilateral elements are those elements which have that bilateral ends, and the rate of flow of current at either side should be equal. Then the element is called as a bilateral element which satisfies that bilateral property. For suppose if you take that resistor, the amount of the current, whatever it is flowing from left hand to right hand side and right hand to left hand side, it allows that same amount of current if it is coming, then the resistance is called as a bilateral element, because which has the bilateral ends at same amount of rate, it allows that currents at either ends. Hence the element is called as a bilateral element. Not only the resistance is a bilateral element, and some more examples for bilateral elements are inductors. Some more elements as an example for bilateral elements are resistor, then inductor, then capacitor. The three elements are called as the bilateral elements which has the bilateral ends and same amount of the rate, it allows the currents at either directions, hence the element is called as bilateral element. Next element is called as unilateral element. Which element is called as a unilateral element? Unilateral elements are those elements which allows currents only in one direction. Those elements are called as unilateral elements. For suppose if you see that unilateral elements, for example, the best example for better understand about the concept of unilateral element, the best example for unilateral elements is diode, because diodes allows the currents in forward biasing condition, and diode does not allows the currents in reverse bias condition. Similar to diode, if you take SCR, SCR also allows the currents during forward biasing condition. During reverse biasing condition, it won't allow the currents. Therefore, unilateral elements are those elements which are able or which has the capability to allow the currents only in one direction. Those elements are called as unilateral elements. The best example for unilateral elements is diode. Diode allows the currents only in forward biasing condition, and diode won't allow the currents in reverse biasing condition. Hence these are the various types of elements in our electrical circuits, generally what we are using. Thank you.